What if I told you that the most powerful woman in ancient history wasn't just a queen, but a master of politics, language, and seduction? Long before Hollywood turned her into a symbol of beauty and romance, Cleopatra was already bending the fate of empires to her will. This is the story of the last pharaoh of Egypt, not a myth, but a force of nature. Cleopatra VII was born around 69 BCE into the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek family that had ruled Egypt since the days of Alexander the Great. But Cleopatra was different from her predecessors in one important way. She actually embraced Egypt. She was the first in her line to speak the Egyptian language. She wasn't just playing queen, she was Egypt. At just 18, she took the throne alongside her younger brother, Ptolemy III, as was tradition. But power sharing didn't last long. A fierce power struggle erupted, and Cleopatra was forced into exile. Most would have accepted defeat. She didn't. Instead, she made one of the most legendary comebacks in history. In 48 BCE, Julius Caesar arrived in Alexandria. Cleopatra famously had herself smuggled into his presence, allegedly rolled up inside a carpet, and won his support. With Caesar's backing, she reclaimed her throne. Their alliance wasn't just political. They became lovers and had a son, Caesarion. But when Caesar was assassinated in Rome, Cleopatra's world shifted again. She aligned herself with Mark Antony, Caesar's former general and rising power in Rome. Their romance was fiery, dramatic, and deeply political. Together, they challenged Octavian, the future Augustus, and Rome's first emperor. One of the most curious facts: Cleopatra wasn't the breathtaking beauty many imagine. Ancient writers described her as intelligent, charismatic, and captivating, but her power came from her voice, her intellect, her fluency in multiple languages, and her mastery of diplomacy. She didn't just charm rulers, she negotiated with them, debated them, and often outmaneuvered them. The final chapter of her life came after the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE. Cleopatra and Antony were defeated by Octavian's forces. Facing the loss of her kingdom and the humiliation of being paraded as a Roman trophy, Cleopatra chose to die on her own terms. According to legend, she took her life with the bite of an asp, a venomous snake, though the true method remains uncertain. Cleopatra's legacy is often overshadowed by romance, but she was far more than a lover of powerful men. She was a polyglot, a strategist, a ruler who navigated one of the most dangerous political landscapes in history with brilliance and boldness. As the last pharaoh of Egypt, her death marked the end of ancient Egyptian rule and the beginning of Roman domination. So the question is, was Cleopatra a seductress who clung to power, or a sovereign who wielded it better than most kings of her time? Her story challenges our ideas of power, gender, and legacy, and perhaps that's why over 2,000 years later, she still fascinates us.